welcome to Naija Football Addict. It's Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2. What a game! Entertaining end to end, bro. How far to see the game?
Now you talk about that entertaining me. I'm not entertaining.
Well, I like that. I like that. The ambition is high now.
No. Seriously, the game was a done deal. Now that game was a done deal. I came with utmost optimism that we're just going to win the match. I knew, Liverpool is a tough team, right? But if Arsenal has a specialization, if we were a doctor, we'll be a doctor in beating big teams. That's it. I'm telling you. So it is
loud. You'll be a doctor in beating big teams.
I'm telling you, really. So that was the expectation today. That's the natural expectation today, and we played to that expectation. Really. And then, unfortunately, I don't know if you want to ask me next. I feel that we played against about 15 different players.
Wow.
11 players. Other times to beat the odds.
Yeah. I mean, to be candid, when you guys were coming into this game as of last week, I'm like, man, if you don't have Bukayo Saka, you don't have other guy, you don't have Timber, it's going to be a very, very difficult game for you. You understand? Yeah. But I mean, Bukayo Saka was in today, Timber was in today. Bukayo Saka scored that goal. How effective do you think these two guys coming in played out in your game?
Who exactly?
Saka and Timber.
Yeah. Of course, Timber was exceptional today. Our front, like our attacking squad, was actually like exceptional as well. I really do not have a lot of problems with them, except Martinelli, that is always almost a recurring decima in terms of problems for Arsenal, and which leads me to blaming Arteta, because I see no reason why Martinelli should make it to the 83rd minute of the game. No, it has. You needed to change the course of the game because they had already equaled the match already by I think 70 minutes or 60 something minutes and all that. So we needed to change game at latest maybe 75th minute, and you waited till 83rd minute, and you can see what happened later on in the ending of the game. We were trying to push. Obviously, we're playing against even the referee, as you can see in the last game, where it was an obvious corner and then they blew goal kick, right? And in other instances, right? And I also think that what happened today in our defense, they wouldn't have scored those goals. It was unfortunate that Gabriel was out, and because they were playing rough. They really played.
Right?
So they played
very physical.
Yeah, they were quite physical. I respect them as a team, but I think they were strategically physical. They knew if they neutralized Gabriel, they would be able to penetrate our defense, and that's exactly what they did. They just played that game, and they knew that they had the referee on their side, so it's natural for them to get away with it.
All right, man. Let's talk about the goal that was disallowed. Did you think that goal should stand?
Definitely, that was an obvious goal. Now there was nothing there. If you wanted to they blew like a foul on a guy that didn't fall. Right, my player actually sacrificed himself and fell. So the other guy was standing and dodged, right? So there was no foul against the other guy. If anybody would have been fouled on, it would have been my guy. Look, it would have been my. So and then it was one of those games that you could actually sacrifice yourself for your team's goal, and then you blew against the team that was injured in the encounter. That has never been. That's unprecedented, right? That's never done before, right? And it's unfortunate that even the opposition fans are not gracious enough to acknowledge some of these flaws in this game, right? It was a very bad game, right? Bad game. But we are happy with what we got, and we'll move forward.
You guys are 5th on the table now. I
think 3rd now.
Okay, you are 3rd on the table. Sorry, you are 3rd on the table now. Who is 5th? No, I said 3rd on the table. With the kind of game that you guys have played so far now, what hope do you have for the season?
Well, it's still going to be a difficult ride going forward. Not having Odegaard in our team. Obviously, Saka is actually coming up. Saka is trying to really fill a lot of gaps for us. Rice is doing great. Trossard did exceptionally well, and some of our players. I don't know how long Gabriel is going to be out for. It looked like what he had was substantial, and so that's going to be troublesome next few games. This game was supposed to be our momentum builder, right? We're supposed to build momentum from the last game where we lost to Bournemouth. This was supposed to be how we build momentum against the next 5 matches, right? So next match is another task again. And you know, Arsenal knows how to run on momentum.
Yeah.
So until they win one very strong match against a strong team, before they run with that for the next 4 matches. So we have to. The next match is also an uphill game, regardless of who we are playing with, because that's the way Arsenal works.
There's some Arsenal fans that are complaining that Arteta does not create the habit of introducing young players from the feeder team. Do you buy into that idea?
Introducing young players from feeders team, I don't buy it. I think that even some of the guys that we have, you know, example, like you said, maybe Timber and all that, some of those guys, those young guys are there.
Like coming from feeder team, people like Nwaneri, them, you understand that they are good, that should have come into the starting 11 now, but he's not using them. That maybe he should be using all those feeder boys too.
I think it's a credible suggestion. I personally trust Arteta's decisions, except for today where I felt that he actually delayed on making
those changes,
making the changes that we needed, and it was obvious, right? And see, Arteta is building something, and I think he is the expert in what he's building. We can only suggest, right? He's actually being careful of the psychology of the team, right? So this is not the situation where you want to quickly bring in some guys who still need to adjust. He needs to build the psychology. He needs to build a kind of a fear factor, and he's already building that. That is why Liverpool fans are happy to be drawing Arsenal. He's already building
the mentality.
Exactly.
Kind of high now.
Exactly.
I think if it was last season, it would be Arsenal that will be happy that they got a draw.
So he's building something psychologically. So when he's done, you know, defeating everybody in England psychologically, I'm sure it's going to be a free ride for our feeders.
Man. If you want to choose your 3 best players today, who do you think would be from Arsenal?
My 3 best players from Arsenal today would be, of course, my Saka. Then Trossard was exceptional today, and I think I want to bring someone from the back. I would have said Gabriel, but he didn't play the 90 minutes. I would have said Gabriel. But let me just give it to Rice because he did.
Olympus, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.